Back here with Coach Mangini, we're going viral. Patrick Mahomes had to rally his Chiefs from a 24-point deficit yesterday, but it was a Kansas City fan that might be the reason for the team's epic comeback. Take a listen.
All right, I'm out of here. I'm out here so we get the second half comeback going. Hopefully. Can't do it. Gotta leave, man. It's the only hope. It might be true, man. I just don't know anymore, man. But yeah, I'm heading out. The watch is on Yahoo Sports on my phone. And then when I get to the crib, I'm watching at the crib too, see what happens. So we gotta come back somehow. We gotta come back somehow. So I'm out. Y'all enjoy the rest of this game.
Patrick, you talk about the fans and how important they were. There was one fan who's now going viral. He left when you guys were down 24-0 because he said it was in the best interest of the team. What would you say to that fan?
Watch the next game at home.
All right, Brandon, you don't know this, or you don't remember this. You know him. That's Charles Penn. He used to, remember when I used to do those Monday night parties at Kudos in Kansas City when you were playing? Yeah. He would always be there. He would, and he is known amongst Chiefs fans of being a jinx. And he's a great guy. I love him. But he's known to be a jinx.
For real?
Yes. So he went to the game and truly thought I jinxed the team.
Yeah.
Left when they were down 24-0. And then
proved himself right.
If the Chiefs win or rain, put this guy on the float, man. The dedication, pay for tickets, and leave the game just so your team can win. Put him on
Best
the float.
interest of the team.
Can we get some video of the parties at Kudos?
Oh, yeah.
That's what I want to see. I want to get back
This is
to
good
Kudos.
time. Back in 2009, 2010.
I'm sure there was some insight happening then.
Oh, yeah, little Monday Night Football watch parties. I even did, Coach, once a month. You'd love this. Before the game, a little football tutorial session before the party actually started.
If you have those tapes, those could be very valuable right now. There's a lot of people sitting at home going, how do I learn more about football? Kudos and selection. You should market that. We could do like an infomercial.
My guy Brandon Flowers has been a great friend for over a decade. He showed up. A lot of people showed up to those parties, but they showed up.
I was there.
Yeah, Charles Penn showed up. They were a good time.
Not a lot of people showed up at the Kudos party? That's nuts.
It's a good time. Oh, God. Facebook marketing. That was a quick little $200 a Monday, man. That was big money back in the day.
Back to Aaron Rodgers and the Packers hosting Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. It was cold last night. Pick this up in the fourth quarter. Marshawn Lynch scores his second touchdown of the night. Seattle gets within 5. They would need to stop the Packers one more time to get the ball back, but Rodgers finds Davante Adams for a big third down conversion. 2:17 left. One of 8 catches on the day for Adams. The Pack would have to convert one more third down to end the game, and so they did. That one to Jimmy Graham. Green Bay moving on to face the 49ers in the NFC Championship game. Here is Aaron Rodgers after the win.
One of those games where we know every possession is going to be really important, and it's going to be loud. But you know, this is where it gets really fun. There's only 4 teams left, and we're one of them, and we got a legitimate chance.
All right, Coach, what was the key, in your opinion, to the Packers win yesterday?
To me, it comes down to Aaron Rodgers, and it comes down to not only Aaron Rodgers being able to execute the things he's being asked to execute, and I talked about this since the early part of the season, and I think you guys remember in the preseason there was this discussion of whether he'd be able to audible at the line of scrimmage, and you saw very early on in the season, the first 2 or 3 games, in key situations, Aaron would come up, he'd go to the line of scrimmage, he'd look to see what coverage he got, and then he'd check into a play, and that happened throughout the course of the season, and to me, that's the same thing you saw yesterday, and again, it's not a knock on LaFleur at all, but it's when you've got a guy like Aaron Rodgers who's not only as talented as he is, but he has that experience and that understanding of what he's getting from a coverage perspective, it puts you in such a great position to be able to take advantage of defenses, especially when they're not disguising the looks. And there were a lot of times yesterday where Seattle really wasn't disguising the looks, and he was able to get him into great plays.
And to your point, Coach, Davante Adams said after the game on that 3rd and 8, which was the most critical play of the game, if they don't pick that up, Seattle with, I think at that point, a time timeout left and on the north side of the 2-minute warning, gets the ball back down just 5, that Devontae was supposed to run a quick slant, and that Aaron at the line, while he was under center actually, signaled to him, did whatever the check is, so Devontae ended up running the route that he ran, which was right here, I mean, a perfect pass, a great route, and then ended up being the key play of the game. Obviously, they then needed the Jimmy Graham play as well to officially ice it, but at this point, they're massive favorites, and it's just what you're talking about. Like, the symbiotic relationship between LaFleur recognizing we have Aaron Jones, we have a better defense, Aaron doesn't need to do everything, but I will trust Aaron when he thinks we are in something that we need to be in something better. I will trust Aaron when Seattle punts the ball back. We're not just going to run, punt, right? That we're going to allow Aaron Rodgers to do what makes him great, even though the second half of the year he wasn't great. Second half of the year, he had the worst 8-game stretch healthy of his career, and despite all that, he was brilliant yesterday.
And there's this discussion all the time in critical plays. You think players, not plays, and that's really what you saw yesterday. In those critical moments, they put the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hand, and they let him go ahead and win the game. And the idea that LaFleur is trusting Aaron Rodgers is a good narrative, but I think that Aaron Rodgers was going to do what Aaron Rodgers was going to do no matter what, and they've reached a point where they've got a good working relationship, and I think that'll continue to get better, but he's been aggressive with play calling at the line of scrimmage throughout the course of the season.
Aaron Rodgers did a great job making the throws he needed to make in crunch time, but a key piece to this win for me was this defense. The way they came out, flew around the ball. Preston Smith, you know, he had a great game. Zadarius Smith had a great game. They had 10 quarterback hits on a mobile quarterback and Russell Wilson, and I think that took a little bit of pressure off of Aaron Rodgers, knowing that he finally has a defense that can make stops when he needs a stop to get the ball back, to just go out there and play ball and trust your defense. At times in the previous years, I felt like he had to do it all. I know he felt like he had to do it all himself. He got to score on every possession because his defense can't stop anybody. But this year, this defense has been playing well. They've been getting pressure, and they made key stops to get him the ball back when they need to make these stops.
To your point, Zadarius Smith made some huge plays early, and then in the last drive of the game, Jenna, if you remember Friday I said I think the Packers win, I think they cover the 4. I said, but if Seattle has the ball with less than 5 minutes left, down 6 or less, you got to feel like they're huge favorites, because that's the position they have found themselves in all year, and Russell Wilson's been so brilliant. They found themselves less than 6 minutes, less than 5 minutes left, down 5. They had a key drop. Malik Turner drops that ball on 1st and 10, and you wonder what happens if that doesn't happen. They end up in 3rd and 5, probably 4-down territory. Preston Smith comes off the edge, gets the sack. That now all of a sudden it's 4th and 11, no longer 4-down territory. They punt the ball away, and they never touch the ball again after Aaron Rodgers makes those plays. But to your point, the defense, as good as Rodgers was, he wouldn't have had the opportunity to make those last couple throws if the defense, particularly the free agent acquisitions, didn't step up on that last Seattle drive.
There's still this sense, though, that you don't fully trust this Packers team. For whatever reason, they've sort of gone under the radar. I mean, you have picked them for the Super Bowl, but Aaron Rodgers didn't play lights out this regular season. Their defense is now coming along and play. Do you trust them a little bit more after what you saw yesterday against Seattle?
I trust them just because they're playing complementary football right now, but I don't know if I trust them to beat the 49ers.
See, why?
The 49ers are just so in sync. They almost had a perfect season. They could have went undefeated if it was just a couple of plays, you know, here or there. They could have went undefeated. Other than Green Bay, who had some terrible losses, you know, getting blown out a couple times this year. I just feel like I trust them as a team, but I don't trust them to beat a well-oiled machine in the 49ers.
Where this team is at its best is the situation they saw yesterday. They've got a lead where those 2 pass rushers can really focus on rushing the passer. It doesn't have to be as much balance, run or pass. And they've been an opportunistic defense throughout the course of the year where they've generated a lot of turnovers. Now, if the game is close and it's back and forth and San Francisco can run the ball consistently, I think that's the biggest problem for them defensively.
And San Francisco's been far better at throwing the knockout punch. They beat the Packers 37-8. The Packers, this is another game. They haven't lost a game yet this year because of it, but they were up 17 points twice in this football game. 8 18 points, pardon me, twice in this football game, and they weren't able to officially put Seattle away. They've had a few of those games where they jump out early and then kind of hold on for dear life. I think that's one of the reasons that even at 13-3 with Aaron Rodgers, a lot of people don't fully buy into the Packers.
And that regular season loss was just back in week 12 when they lost by 29 points. All right, Coach, stick around. Coming up, who had the best playoff performance of the weekend? That is next on First Things First.
Did you do that math in your head?
I did.
37-8, 29 points. You did that? No, you got it right.